Rui, where does it hit you the most after just the weeks of battling and the constant fighting, and even this game up to the final minute, and then kind of the season is over, and you have to either reflect and get into the summer? What's top of mind for you?
I think it was a tough series for us. We played against the championship team. They won last year. They rested 10 days before. We had to battle. Houston Rockets, one of the most physical team in the NBA, and we fought through and we got that, in Game 6, and we didn't really rest. We went right into this series. I think we had a lot of we adjusted, a couple times, in the game plans and all that, but they're a championship for a reason. They always figure it out. They always adjust back whatever we do. They have the counter, so we try a lot of stuff, but it just didn't work out. But it is what it is. But I'm proud of this team.
Really, a lot of attention was paid to a couple other guys on your team who are impending free agents, but you have a contract decision coming up as well, and in the midst of that, we have a really strong season, even stronger playoffs. One, how did you think of your performance this year? And two, what do you want? What would you want to return to LA?
I'm not gonna. I didn't think about it at all. I haven't talked to my agent. I haven't talked to my people at all. Anything about those free agents. I knew I was free agents, but I didn't. I don't be thinking about that. I don't be thinking about those kind of stuff. I'm just trying to play. Get through the season. Make the playoff. Trying to win this series. I was just focused on that. I haven't thought about it, but. I love this team, I love this organization. Since I got here, this is my 4th season with them, just, start from Rob, everybody, the owners, Jimmy, now new owner, Mark, I just like them, I just like how they operate, everything, I really appreciate them, so for what they've done for me, they did a lot for me, and yeah, I love here. But end of the day, I'm not the one negotiating. My agent's the negotiator. I'm not a good negotiator so I put on everything on my agents.
Rui, where do you think you've changed most as a basketball player in your time as a Laker, and where do you think you've kind of grown most as a person?
I think when I came here, even until when I was a Wizards, I think I didn't know my roles. We had a lot of different teammates, with coaches. I just didn't know where what kind of player I am. I was, and since I got here, start with the, shout out to Coach Phil. Phil Handy. He was the one that taught me through a lot of stuff. What I can do to stay in this league, not only this team, but staying in this league, I can make an impact, on this team especially. And that was one thing, the first thing that he talked about is the 3 points, and I think that was the biggest thing for me, because I honestly, I don't like shooting threes, that's still, that's not my thing for me, for me, I don't really like, but with the team situation, how JJ coach, want me to shoot a lot of threes, so it's a different game. It was a different game for me, but I had to do it, and yeah, but that was the first thing the biggest thing that I think changed. I'm done. You want?